Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Balatro. Made by one developer, Local Thunk, this game was even nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Despite not winning that, it did win other categories like Best Indie Game. So with that in mind, let's go over the gameplay and see what made it stand out. The gameplay of Balatro is poker with some extra steps. Think of the game as a poker roguelike deck builder. You start a run, and your goal is a total hand value that you need to hit to progress to the next level. The value of each hand is determined by the poker set that you play, as well as modifiers in the form of joker cards that give bonuses like extra multipliers for certain hands, as well as tarot cards that modify the cards themselves. You can hold 6 jokers and 2 tarot cards at a time, and using them, you'll have to meet your chip goals within the set amount of hands and discards. So the gameplay is simple enough, right? Well, not only does the goal go up in each stage, but when you reach the boss blinds, they have an ability which you can prepare for. Typically, the ability is something along the lines of, the heart suite is debuffed and doesn't give any points. Altogether, the game is simple yet addictive, simply due to the nature of it being a game that is easy to get into and gives you hits of dopamine in just the right ways. So is there any story? Simply put, no. I mean, can you really expect a poker game to have a story? Its focus is definitely just on the gameplay, and that's it. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat? Is it time to go to the casino? I think it is, except there's a bonus here. You don't have to worry about your money being lost.
Yeah, ain't that right? There's no DLC packs, nothing of that kind of nature, even though it is rated 18 plus, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that at one point during this pause or repeat. But, you know, get ready to shuffle up and hustle in Balatro, the game that proves poker isn't just for those smoky back rooms and dodgy casinos anymore. To me, HenricK, it felt like as if solitaire and poker eloped in a Windows 98 themed chapel and invited every adrenaline-fueled combo mechanic as a guest, and you add in some of those nostalgic vibes, the perfect pacing, and a soundtrack that slaps, and you've got Balatro. What would you make of this game?
Well, you could definitely see that this is a game made by one guy, and not in a bad way, but it's one guy who was just like, you know what? I want to make a game that me and my friends want to play, and I'm going to make it good. So good, in fact, that 20 minutes in this game turns into 2 hours, which eventually then turns into 5 hours. And before you know it, you've spent your whole day playing the game. This is how this game goes for people. It's like you get into it, you do a run, and then you're like, you know what, one more.
Yeah.
And one more turns into 5.
Yeah, no, it's so true, man. This isn't your grandpa's poker night. Balatro fuses those timeless charm of poker with its strategic deck building, creating the gameplay of that as nostalgic as it is chaotic. Trust me, it very much is. And it allows you to pull off combos so outrageous they might get you banned at your local casino. So forget Vegas. This poker is on steroids. And you might be wondering, like,
at the same time, the simplicity helps you with getting into the game.
Yeah, that's so true.
I think a lot of people already know what poker is. And
yeah,
if you don't,
again,
there's
like
a little cheat sheet.
Yeah, but there are also some people that just never wanted to get into poker, and you know, maybe this might be the opportunity to be able to kind of teach you some of the basic stuffs like a straight and a flush. But you know, your goal in the end is to outwit those shady blinds, uncover secret hands, and rake in chips like you're funding the next Ocean's 11 movie. It's really, really cool. There's almost every trick in the book. You got jokers, tarot cards, planet cards, spectral cards, and even something called vouchers, and not that kind that you get like the free fries, nothing like that. But they are these cool tools that aren't just cool, but they're the key to setting off those combo chains. And you might be wondering, am I actually playing poker or summoning an eldritch god? I have no idea. But there is so much jam-packed into this game. You know, you got over 150 jokers, each with their own unique abilities to keep you guessing or stressing. And there's over 15 decks with distinct modifiers to choose from. I think that's really, really cool, HenricK. And on top of it, with those 150 jokers that you thought wasn't enough, well, each one has 5 variants to pile on, even more unpredictability. So it's definitely a very refreshing take on a card game, which I feel like, you know, I kept joking all year. I'm like, is it better than solitaire? You're damn right it's better than solitaire.
Oh, yeah, easily. And I honestly, just like any roguelike, the fact that there's so many variables to each run each run is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Your friend is not going to have a similar experience to you outside of, hey, this game's actually pretty fun.
Hmm.
That's really the underlying factor here. But maybe he had a little bit of struggle fighting one blind, whereas you went through your whole entire run, no issues, and maybe then the next run you have an issue in round two. You never know. It's just sort of game where there's just so many variables that factor into your success. But at the end of the day, if you're smart about things, you're going to be successful regardless. It's not trying to like jab you with a knife and twist it. You're just there to have fun, really.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
But but I have a question, Chris. Do you really
Yes.
think that this was worthy of Game of the Year?
Yeah, I think it might have been a little bit of a stretch, but I do feel like it definitely should have been highlighted. I mean, as you're going right on into it, it did become the third ever indie game to be nominated for the Game of
Mhm.
the Year at the Game Awards. It did snag Best Debut Indie Game, Best Independent Game, and Best Mobile Game. Yeah, after, playing this game, it did kind of feel like a bit of a stretch, to be Game of the Year, but I think it was also being recognized because it was developed by one person, and that is
Yeah.
truly remarkable. And it did kind of revolutionize the whole idea about what card games means moving forward. And let's not forget, they did win, best mobile game. And this game, when it first got dropped in February, wasn't on any mobile devices. And actually, I feel like it
Mhm.
plays better on the mobile device, as a matter of fact. It's only like $10. And so it's an amazing ride. And, I think it's fantastic. It's available essentially everywhere. Yes, Nintendo Switch fans, you actually have a game, a Game of the Year
Hey, now.
contender that you can check out, in the year 2024. Because basically, is like, to me, HenricK, right now, Balatro is like the Meryl Streep of card games. And now it's everywhere, right? The Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and mobile devices. But, I still gotta have to take a moment. Balatro, right after the Game Awards, got slapped by the PEGI rating system for 18 plus. It's a system that is used in Europe, the UK, and the Middle East by pointing out the absurdity, that some games are loaded with microtransactions,
Mhm.
but, this game doesn't have any of that. But, there are games like, oh, I don't know, let's think of what he was thinking about. EAFC or EA Sports FC 25 with their deceptive, FUT player cards. I mean, we all know what that's all about. It's no different than loot boxes. So, like, how is that rated 3+ for everyone? But the fact that it's got a little bit of poker elements, like a straight and a flush, added into the game, that's where we draw the line. To me, HenricK,
Yeah.
that's like, it's such an ass backwards comparison. It's like that same argument where they go, send your kids to war at 18, but God forbid, poker is where we draw the line.
No,
You know
it's
what
the
I mean?
same idea as if, like, all of a sudden solitaire, you brought it up. Do you think that that's an 18 plus game all of a sudden just because you have cards in it? Like,
Well, it's the fact that they added like the chips. You're
yeah,
going up
and you
against.
could easily do that with any card game,
True. Yeah.
solitaire or even just playing blackjack by yourself, against an NPC. It's not an 18 plus experience, really.
Well, it sounds
So
like
if you're
we
gonna
maybe.
give them that rating, then you might as well give the games with loot boxes and things that are predatory, like going to a casino. Because what's the difference really of opening up a loot box rather than, doing slot machines? It's the same thing.
It's
There's a
exactly the
chance
same
as to
thing.
whether or not you'll get something.
Maybe we need to shuffle the priorities here because it absolutely doesn't make any sense. But that can't take away from the awards that Balatro ended up winning in the end. And I think it's a fantastic game. I'm gonna say it's a repeat. You guys are definitely gonna want to download it on your mobile phones. I'm not much of a mobile gamer, but I had a fun time playing this video game, and I know you will as well out there. But HenricK, I'm curious on what the verdict is for you.
This is a definite repeat, and I recommend it actually, even beyond that, to anyone who is looking for a game to just hop in, play a little bit or a lot, and then hop out of it. Like you said, it's available on mobile. So I think that actually might be a really enticing option to a lot of people. If you're waiting at the doctor's office or you're waiting for an appointment of some sort, just whip out some Balatro. The time will go by so quick.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a fantastic game, and I think you guys will enjoy, this new approach to, I keep joking, a Windows 98 solitaire style of game mixed in with the little poker elements. But We want to know from you gamers. Are you playing it right now? Have you never heard of this game? Let us know what's good.